What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 122 of the Real WTH show. I'm joined here with Wilson, who right when I just started talking, there was a noise that was made. What was that noise?
Yep. A kid running by.
Perfect timing, little one.
I know.
Perfect timing. I'm doing good today, Wilson. It's cold outside. It is currently snowing with what they're calling the polar vortex. Have you seen the shape of this storm? What it looks like?
I'm assuming it looks like a vortex.
No, it's shaped like America's W.A.N.G.
Really?
Florida. And we are at the tip of it right now, my friend.
Just the tip.
But we're supposed to be getting some snow, it's snowing currently. So we're trying to bust out this episode before my internet craps out on everybody, because that seems to happen regardless if it's storming or not here in the WV. Wilson, I think the last time I recorded was before Christmas, before New Year's. How was your Christmas and vacation?
It was good. There we go. Trying to make sure this thing's good. Let's see. We recorded before Christmas?
I think it said 12/16 when I checked.
Oh, okay. Then Christmas was good. I worked, but there was nothing happening.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. At a church, actually. One of the oldest churches in Nashville.
Yeah, the Ryman.
Probably the oldest.
The Ryman.
Yeah. What else? New Year's was fun though. Have you ever heard of Old Crow Medicine Show?
No, I have not.
Really?
No, I'm not a hillbilly like you.
I know, but I mean, I don't listen to them, but I know who they are. So it's weird to me, especially when people are walking by and they're asking like, "Hey, who's playing tonight?" We're like, "Oh, it's Old Crow Medicine Show." And they've been doing this for 15 years. This was their 15th year of doing a New Year's show, right? Like, that's their thing. And people are like, who's that?
Is it a band? What is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, what kind of music are they?
Let me see. I wonder if my phone's still connected to this. Oh, it doesn't sound good on here though. Dang it. They're kind of like a country-ish. I'd say more like older country, almost bluegrassy type.
Okay, so like an old school Willie Nelson? I don't know.
They're a little more upbeat than that.
Is there any 808 bass in there, or like dubstep-ish, like anything like that in there? Do they have a turntablist?
You might be able to find one of their songs. I can't even find
Old Crow Medicine Show.
Yeah.
That's like, I wonder what their name means. I wonder how they got their name. Like Hootie and the Blowfish. Like, how did you get your name? I don't know. Because I made a joke this morning because, my East Coast team is the Bengals, and whatever their slogan is like Hoo-Day, whatever. So I'm like, Hoo-Day and the Blowfish. Steph thought it was funny. I thought it was funny too. The fellow listeners might be like, you're an idiot. Trying to fill some dead air here, Wilson, so we don't have to edit.
I know. I'm
Come
trying.
Come on.
I found it.
Don't
worry,
go.
I found it. I found it.
Thank God.
Now I
gotta get handy back on here.
Okay. It says it's connected now.
Okay. It's connected.
Let's see.
We're probably
gonna get copyrighted for this.
Just 6 seconds, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, 6 seconds.
It's like a bull. Write it. Just write it.
There we go.
This is great.
So you know the song Wagon Wheel, right?
I have a little red wagon.
You just talked about Hootie and the Blowfish, and Darius Rucker sings like that's one of his big songs.
Hootie and the Blowfish and Darius Rucker are two different bands. He's just the lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish. That does not mean I know his entire catalog.
Well, you should.
Nope.
So Wagon Wheel is one of their big songs too. Here we go. Here's some essentials.
This is amazing.
I know. We'll just hit shuffle and see what comes up.
We've just lost listeners. I hate it already.
So that's like one of the slower songs, but they got more like upbeat songs. I can't play any more than that, or else we'll get copyrighted.
Wow, that was really slow.
Let's see. How's this one?
Well, let's burn a little rubber down that I-65
There we
corridor,
go.
bringing the good stuff down from Vanderburgh County, Indiana. Oh, 1, 2,
One, two, three, four.
Oop.
There
That's
was
why
the
Dave
curse
was
word in
there.
there. So they must be one of them satanic bands.
No,
Jeez.
but they're really good. They put on a very good show, and they get very excited for the New Year's Eve show that they do every year.
But they're like the go-to every New Year's.
Yeah, just like Vince and Amy are the go-to for Christmas show. Like Vince and Amy basically live at the Ryman.
Vince
like,
and Amy, you know, like
Yeah.
John and Jill, first name basis. He's talking about Amy Grant. And
Actually, during
Gill.
the Christmas show, it's Amy and Vince. So,
Oh, you know,
yeah.
wives don't submit to their husbands during that time. Apparently,
It's kind of funny because Vince is he's not a little guy, right? He's a big dude. He's probably like 6'2", and he's not fat, but he's not skinny either.
funny. I never
And,
knew that. I thought he was actually short.
No, he's pretty tall, and but I think he's like pre-diabetic or something like that. So Amy regulates his intake of food every time he's there.
This is
And,
firsthand. This is
yeah.
good stuff right here, folks.
Yeah. So there's other stories, but I won't tell those on the air here.
Yeah.
But there's some funny stories about it.
I'm looking at my webcam outside. The snowplow just arrived.
Oh,
We're safe, everybody. We're safe.
what?
For now.
Who did I? Oh, and then this last weekend. So this year is 100 years that the Grand Ole Opry has been going on. Right.
Wow.
And then every winter.
Wait, 2024 or 2025?
No.
This will be
2025 just started.
Okay.
Yeah. So, every winter, the Grand Ole Opry, they like don't do shows there for like a month or so they can do like maintenance and stuff like that once a year and not have to worry about doing shows every night, you know?
Uh-huh.
So they moved the Grand Ole Opry to the Ryman, which is where it started, but not. I mean, the Ryman is like the third place that the Opry was at.
Uh-huh.
But it's probably the Ryman and the actual Grand Ole Opry are the longest span it's spent in one spot.
Huh.
So,
now,
yeah.
What is the distance from the Opry House to the Ryman?
Probably like, I don't know, 10 miles maybe.
Okay.
Maybe less. It takes like 20 minutes to get there, but that's traffic and all that.
Yeah.
So.
And if I remember correctly, the Opry House kind of looks like a barn?
No.
Like the stage setup?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Oh, actually, I'll send you the setup they had. I took a picture of it.
Yeah, because I think when we moved out here, we stayed at a hotel that was pretty close nearby. And I just can't remember the name of the hotel we stayed by. All I remember is we walked in and it was like a nightclub going on downstairs. It was crazy. That's pretty cool though. So
Did you get that?
I don't know yet. So you had that show on New Year's, and
I had the Old Crow Medicine show on New Year's, and then last night and the night before was the Grand Ole Opry. And the Grand Ole Opry, if you don't know, it's a radio show that they do. I think normally they do it about 4 nights a week. They usually do multiple shows in a day, but for some reason they're not doing that at the Ryman this year.
Are there live audiences at each one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So then they have.
Is it kind of like a night show, like a David Letterman type thing, where they'll maybe like, or even like a Jeopardy or something, where they'll record like 2 in a day, have a live audience, but they won't air it for like another week
live.
or so? Oh, it is
it's
live.
live.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but there's like probably like 8 or so different bands or individuals that will come up. Like the first night was all bands or like singers, and then last night it was pretty much all singers, except there was have you heard of Gracie Bowers?
No.
She's from Northern California. I don't know where, but somewhere in Northern California. She's 18 years old, and she's this like 80-pound little girl, but she shreds on the guitar, like
electric guitar.
Never seen. Oh yeah,
Like heavy
So-
metal or like just like
She was kind of like a
like
it
a
was
rock
it kind of had
guitarist?
an older vibe, like an older rock like solo vibe,
Okay.
but then also like a newer age, like they had like weird synth, a guy playing the synth thing and
Huh.
stuff like that. So but she like I've never seen anybody play like that on a guitar before.
Not
She's
even
only
anyone in
18
my
years
old
old.
band.
No, definitely not.
I mean, Ivan was good, but
He
he's
was.
he's not Gracie Bowers good.
And then we had Aaron Webster. Is that his name?
Sure.
Comedian.
Never heard of him.
Really?
Yep.
He's with he's doing a show with Nick Bergazzi,
Oh,
whatever his name is.
Yeah. I've heard of him. Nate.
Yeah.
He has
Maybe.
a. I think he's a clean comedian. I think he has a.
Yeah, Aaron Webster is comedian.
Never heard of him. I'll check him out though. I've been actually listening to some comedians on Spotify because I had a horrible week at work and I need something to cheer me up.
He was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
It's been fun at work.
I'm glad someone's having fun at work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I told you I can get you a job.
Yeah, it's a long commute for me every day, buddy.
Do like the firefighters do and stay here for like 3 days and then drive back.
Yeah. Goodbye, marriage. Yeah, Christmas was good. Christmas was fun. New Year's for me, I think I made it to about 10, about that. And normally my neighbor behind me, he'll be shooting off his AR like at night. And I remember waking up, us older folk, we wake up, we got to go potty. And I woke up and I was like, oh man, I'm all, is it even midnight yet? I didn't even get woken up. Tapped my phone. It was 1:40. I'm all, he must have not made it to midnight either. So no gunshots that night. So that was cool. But like my dad used to say, it's just another year to do taxes. I'm not a big fan of, I don't want to say a big fan. I'm just like not really that into New Year's like I used to be. It's not the same. I mean, and you could say the thing. I mean, Christmas, I love Christmas, but it's mainly for kids. Like we could really buy each other, like the husband and wives, we could buy each other the stuff throughout the year.
Yeah.
But like it's for the kids. And what's sad is, this is the last year my kid is, a child, she's 17. So, the next year she'll be an adult. So it's kind of like, man, this is like, then the year after that, it might just be me and my wife, in the house. So it's kind of weird to think about that. I mean, you have plenty of years left on you for that, with your little girls, but I don't know. It's kind of bittersweet but it's still cool though. I made it. I lived 2024 barely, by a thread. But you mentioned something before the start. We're just going to get right into this. We got a lot to cover today, folks. A lot to cover today. Let's kick this off with a wang. Let's kick the wang.
Your wang or my wang?
Let's do your wang. I gotta pull mine. I gotta pull my wang out. I gotta pull my wang up and see what's what the I wanted to get some exact numbers for mine.
Okay. Well, I got one, and then after you're done with yours, I got like a little honorable mention type thing.
Okay, go for your.
So I was talking about the Grand Ole Opry. And the first night, one of the people who played, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Tommy, because he's a country artist, but his name is Craig Morgan.
That sounds familiar. Was he part of another group?
No.
Not Craig. Okay. Name sounds familiar. I have heard it.
Okay. So Craig Morgan, he's got a lot of, he tells you like right away, he loves God, his family, and country. And that's basically what his songs are about. And one of the things that I like most about him is he was in the military, and he actually ended up re-enlisting in the military and joined the Army Reserve 2 years. I guess it's 2 years ago now. Well, a year and a half ago, 2023. But he's just an all around like good guy, like not the fake type of artist that you see that put on a show and then like once they get off the stage they're like, I want nothing to do with you. He's not that type of person.
I met many of them.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can see that he was re-enlisting, and that is the Grand Ole Opry stage behind him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. but I got to listen to him. I've never heard him in concert before, and I finally got to, and he's coming out with a new album soon, and he played one of the songs. It was pretty funny because he came out and he's like, "This is a new song. It's going to be on the new album, but it's so new that I don't have it completely memorized yet." So he came out with his phone and the lyrics on his phone, and he's like, "I'm going to read them off my phone, but I forgot my reading glasses." So he actually like borrowed reading glasses from a guy in the front row
That's
and
funny.
put them on while he was singing. But the song was really good. So if you guys like country music, you'd probably like Craig Morgan, and wait for his new album to come out and listen to the song. I think it's called Red, White, and Blue Collared Prayer, I think.
Okay. Did he mention why he re-enlisted?
I'm sure it's on there, but I couldn't find it right now.
That's definitely cool though to do that.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
took a 13-year break and then decided to reenlist.
that's pretty cool though. You want to go off with your honorable mention?
I'll go after you because
Okay.
it might lead into some stuff.
Okay. So, man, early stages, I think we were both in the studio still when we originally had this person as our beers and cheers. I'm pretty sure he was the youngest out of all of our beers and cheers.
I think it happened. We found him right when Ishmael died because he ran a thing for him.
Actually, I think it was Tara.
Oh, is she right before that?
I think that she was before that. But his first mile was with I am spacing on her name, Davis PD. Natalie Corona. That was his first run. But Zechariah Cartledge, who was the runner and founder of Running for Heroes, that nonprofit down in Florida, where he would run a mile for every originally it was law enforcement. He'd run a mile to honor them. And then he would eventually he did it for I think fire as well. And then it branched off to where there's a bunch of kids that took on like those in like a military side and different sides of it. Well, he is, believe he's now 16 years old. So he ran his final mile last week actually, because he wants to keep it in the youth. So he's kind of the founder of the whole thing. So he wants to keep it to the youth. So a lot of other kids have actually stepped up to the plate to replace him, but he's still going to be an active part of Running for Heroes as far as like, maybe publicity and stuff like that. But it says that he started at age 10, and his final miles ran. This is astounding. 1,572 miles in total is what he ran.
That's crazy, but it's also very sad.
Yep.
He only runs when first responder
passes. So that's 1,572 first responders. That's just his miles. That's not the other kids as well. And then his nonprofit raised over $1 million for injured first responders and their families. And it's, like I said, it's going to continue through the young runners that have stepped up to the plate. And I just think it's awesome that he's still going. Now, I'm not sure. Last time I checked, he was planning on going into law enforcement. I'm not sure if that's still his thing, but I mean, he's definitely made an impact. So I think it's really cool that we followed him, and he was like just a little kid, like super little kid. He's like a young man now. Like,
yeah, it makes you feel old.
Oh yeah, don't they all? But like, I think it's just super cool to see, and just the fact that throughout the process, his dad Chad would kind of show like on a map, like how far he's ran. Like he's almost went up the entire East Coast, just running miles, like Forrest Gump, and it's just super cool to see that he still did all that, and that not only did he just start a nonprofit and then, well, that's it. He encouraged and he motivated a younger crowd to follow in his footsteps, which is kind of what we all want in life. Like I want my daughter to follow in my footsteps in some sort of way, other ways I want her to branch out, but like we want to leave like a little bit of a legacy. And I feel like he did that, which I think is awesome. So Zechariah Cartledge, you're my wang of the week.
Oh man.
Wilson, what's your honorable mention wang?
So this happened a while ago, I think back in July. But I was just reminded with all like the what's it called? The where they verify the votes and everything. That's coming up.
Uh,
The Electoral College
I
thing.
think it's verifying the votes.
The thing where there was a riot last time.
Oh, the
Yeah. But I was looking through some stuff, and I'm excited for this administration. I don't like all of them. I don't agree with everything that they say, but I know it's not going to be. I know it's going to be better than this whole last 4 years has been.
What went wrong the last 4 years? Tell me about it.
Well, that's a different show. Maybe next week, actually.
That's a whole different series of shows.
Yeah. But I was going through and I was looking at like Elon Musk, because him and Vivek are going to be Doge, right? Department of Government Efficiency.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm just going to look at some stuff that Musk has been doing. And I came across a tweet, and he tweeted back in July a parody video because that was when Kamala Harris became the nominee, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's a parody video of her saying stuff like, "Oh, I got chosen because Joe was too stupid," or something like that. And I'm a woman and I check all the boxes. Like it was a funny video, right? And then good old Gavin Newsom comes out and says this in a tweet: "Manipulating a voice in an ad like this one should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is." And then this is what I'm excited for, because I don't know if you guys remember, but we used to have mean tweets.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm ready for them to come back. And now we have Elon Musk alongside Donald Trump to bring them back. And he started with this, and it says, in response to Gavin Newsom, it says, "I checked with renowned world authority, Professor Sugon D's Nuts, and he said parody is legal in America."
That's classic.
So I found that and I was like, oh, that's funny.
So Elon is your
honorable mention.
Yeah. That's classic, dude. Like
that's one of the like funny, like, I don't know, making like so much stuff on the internet is like dismal and makes everything look bad, and like he's having fun and I like it.
So. Right. And I mean, granted, from the mature aspect, that's not mature. That's not like, there's no decorum there. I'm like, man, there hasn't been,
because no one's ever been like that before. I mean,
as long as I can remember, there's always been some sort of tomfoolery and stupidity in the presidential office, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I like how what was it? Newsom said something the other day, like he's like, I think it was something like he was cleaning up the homeless area. Like, this needs to end. I'm like, dude, you are clearly trying to go for a presidential run in 2028.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, and I tell everyone out here, I'm like, do not say this guy turns California around in 4 years. Well, I don't know when his term's up, but say he turns it around for it. Do not vote for him. Like, he is horrible. And he's Nancy Pelosi's nephew, which makes him even more horrible.
California's getting tired of it too now. So, I mean,
which is amazing.
If you saw the red and blue map of California this last election, you'd be surprised.
Yeah. Well, and on the East Coast too. It's that thin layer right on the coast.
Yeah.
And
it's who lives the big cities.
And who lives on the coast? Rich people who have votes, not the farmers, who like the hardworking people. So it's ridiculous, but I can't wait to see that party get destroyed.
Yeah.
So good job, Elon. Even though you're
oh, did you ever look at that picture
of the Grand Ole Opry thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it. The blue is like kind of washing out, but it does have the barn in the background. Oh, and you saw it on the Craig Morgan thing that I showed you too. That had the barn in the background.
I'm looking at my phone was blowing up for some reason. Oh yeah. That's weird. It's funny. I always thought it was actually an actual like barn. I didn't realize it was like just a screen.
Nah.
Man, show business is weird. It's like when I went and saw Dennis Miller live. They're like telling us like, oh, hey, I mean, this is many years ago. They're like, yeah, this is the actual same room where they filmed Price is Right. I'm like, dude, this is no bigger than my apartment. Like, where I thought it was a huge stage because, TV makes things look like way bigger than they actually are. But since we're on the subject, about
told you it would lead into something.
You're so good at it. You're good at you're good at what you do, sir. Let's start with this. We're going to segue in a couple things. Biden and his pardons.
Oh yeah.
Like, everyone is sitting here was saying the thing about how, Trump is going to ruin America and stuff. But this guy has been like nonstop, like on this pardoning rampage lately, where he's like 37 out of 40. What was it? Pardons. These people are like, some of these people are killers. Like the queen of fentanyl or whatever. He pardoned her. Now, granted, I know people are going to say they're still going to be in prison. They're just going to be in prison for life and not the death penalty. I'm all, no, you shouldn't pardon them for anything. In fact, they should be put to death. Some people like lost their family members, got killed, murdered by these people. You tell them that, it just shows you how weak this administration is on crime. And we talk about Newsom and how he's just sitting here and he's, they decriminalized crime down in LA. I think that's with what's his name? George, their DA down there or whatever. Get people off really easily. And then we have, which we're going to segue into right now, with what happened in New Orleans and Vegas, but more so with New Orleans, with the FBI director coming out saying this is not a terrorist thing, downplaying crime. The dude had an ISIS flag on the back of his truck. You tell me it's not a terrorist thing.
Yeah.
And they're downplaying all these things right before an election or before he takes office. And at the same time, right before he takes office, he's creating a lot more problems to make it look like he's going to fail. And this is what they were afraid Trump was going to do to Biden. But Biden's clearly doing it to Trump right now. And nobody is batting an eye. Nobody, at least that, is, smart enough, is batting an eye. Everyone is sitting here thinking that this is just, well, this is what they do. I'm like, no, dude, the guy is ruining America right before Trump's trying to take it over and make it better. And then, basically setting him up to fail. And I don't know, the whole thing with, and I worry about, I texted you because you work in a city very similar to New Orleans. There is crime, but it's also a tourist destination. I think your city is more of a tourist destination than New Orleans.
Yeah.
But this could very easily happen right outside your work.
Yeah.
And
it I mean, it wasn't a terrorist attack. It was a disgruntled employee, but I forget how long ago it was, the bombing of the AT&T building
right
downtown. So
I remember that. Because I remember asking you when you first moved there about how close are you to that building, because the AT&T building is very, very iconic in the skyline of Nashville. It has like these two big points. It looks like Batman.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that. But at the same time, I feel like they're constantly moving the goalpost on what's a terrorist attack and what's not terrorist attack, and also what's a mass shooting and what's not a mass shooting.
It's whatever fits the agenda at
right.
the time.
Right. And,
clearly the New Orleans thing, it like you said, the guy had an ISIS flag. He was related to the Vegas guy too. They were both in the same unit or something like that in the military.
And there was things that came out about that said they were both in the same. Not when Wilson says related, it doesn't mean like by birth,
not like blood.
There's some things that cross over and check the boxes. So
yeah,
it said that they served in the same either army unit or same base. They rented the same vehicles from the same place, which is weird because that one I wanted to look more into, because I'm like, can you really rent a Cybertruck the same place you rent like a regular pickup? Like you think a Cybertruck you'd be renting from like a higher end. Now Vegas has those higher end places where you can rent like a Lambo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as far as the company goes, you know, they could be the same company. You know, and I don't know, it just seems too coincidental that
They both they both were killed in the attacks. So like there's too many similarities. Like it makes me mad that they try and brush stuff off when like it's so blatantly obvious that it is a terrorist attack.
yeah. And you know, let's just hypothetically say I don't even know his name. I don't want to know his name. The dude in New Orleans. Let's say that he wasn't affiliated whatsoever with ISIS, but he agreed with them. Okay. And he decided that I'm going to do this with an ISIS flag, but he has nothing to do with him. It's still under the definition of like, which is terrorism, which is like basically, you know, threats of terror or harm for political gain. Is that what it's something similar to that?
Yeah.
And so essentially he's trying to push an agenda with political gain or whatever. And even though he acted solo, it's still a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
But that
domestic terrorism is still terrorism.
But that FBI director came out and she was very quick to shut it down and say, no, it's not that. And I'm like, not everybody's mad at her about that.
You know what's good about this though is like 90% of the FBI higher ups said that when Kash Patel gets put in as the director of the FBI, they're leaving. So some of this stuff will start to go away, and you'll be able to see. I don't know. It's going to be like a whole different department after
right?
that,
but that should worry you and me as well. So that's like saying, like, say I have a sheriff's department here, and there's a sheriff that's coming to town. He's like, I'm going to clean up the streets. I'm going to do all this stuff, and all the deputies are like, if this guy gets in, we're leaving. I'm like, that's scary because that shows you how corrupt that agency is right now.
Yeah.
How did it get that way? And I can tell you how it got that way. It's who they call the big man, you know, Mr. Biden himself,
or Obama,
which I think is pre Biden, and it was an Obama thing. But I think the FBI is once used to be like the top tier. That's like the top agency, and it's amazing. You know, like everybody that was there was, you know, honorable and everything. Dude, I don't trust them. They're like the least ones I trust right now.
Did you see the interview with Kash Patel? Did we talk about this already?
I don't think so.
Remember, where he's talking. I forget who it was, but he's talking about all the documents that he's going to release once he gets in, and he's releasing all the JFK files. He's releasing the 9/11 files.
Ooh,
yeah. And somebody was asking him like, so what about the JFK files? Like, do we need to be worried about stuff in there? And he said, he's like, I can't tell you about that right now, but he's like, what you think it is probably right, but that's not the thing that you need to be worried about. He said there's something completely different that nobody knows about that is very concerning.
See, that makes me think. I mean, so that goes back to people saying things like you can't learn from history, or you can learn from history, but our schools aren't teaching it. So in my mind, by him saying that, what I'm thinking is, okay, let's hypothetically say that, you know, Lee Harvey Oswald, he was the one who did it. Okay. But he was hired by the government to do it.
The government.
Which sounds a lot like what probably could have happened with Trump.
Or Lee Harvey Oswald did not do it. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. They pinned it on him, and it was multiple shooters. And it was run by the government.
And like the Trump thing that happened in Pennsylvania, where basically there was that one shooter and they knew about it, but they took their time getting there because they're like, let's just let it happen. Let's just let it happen. And then
see what happens. And
so I'm all for that. You know, I think that's been the problem is, I mean, I get it. There needs to be certain things that need to be held close to the chest. I 100% get that, especially when it comes to like when you're investigating crimes. You can't just put all your cards out on the table and show everybody, because then when it comes to a trial to convict, everybody knows everything.
Yeah.
You can't really catch the person if everything's out in public, made out in public, you know what I'm saying? So, something you got to hold close to the chest. The JFK stuff, there's no harm in letting us know that right now.
Unless it's going to make some people freak out because they're going to see like the government's not what they thought they were.
Which I think they need to do.
I think they do. I just hope some crazies don't go off the edge and
On both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, if it turns out like the government is doing this, it doesn't mean you just start, you man up your militia and you just start like in that movie, I'm not sure if you saw it, called Civil War. You take up your own little militia and now you're going after everybody. It's like, well, hey, just hold on. There are people that are trying to expose the truth, and those people.
Yeah, and that's how I would see it. This is like they're trying to move back to the government for the people.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's one thing that I always remembered is, back when I worked at the jail, I got into an argument with a former friend. They said, you got to remember that you're a public servant at that point and you work for them. I go, in a jail setting, you've done wrong. No, I don't work for you. Well, I have a job to do. And that job is to babysit you, really, and make sure you don't hurt yourself or others until you go through your trial. And then you get put where whatever punishment is laid out for you and you serve your time. But I'm not going to be in there and be like, yes, sir. Like, no, I'm not your waiting staff. You're there for a punishment. I'm not there to punish you, but I'm there to oversee it. I thought that was like, this was a guy, he was very anti-cop and anti-law enforcement, everything. It doesn't surprise me. He liked to smoke the wacky tobacco. So I think that's kind of why he was going there. But yeah, dude, more transparency is what I want to see. And I know like
and less control.
Right. And then just coming out, I think over the weekend, if this administration hasn't shown you within the past couple months of what its full plan was, and you don't see it, then you're dumb. Like the whole, selling off the border equipment, the parting of the criminals. Now he's doing the Presidential Medal of Honors to George Soros and Hillary Clinton. Like, are you serious right now?
Is that because Hillary Clinton got the highest kill count?
Probably. Good job, Hillary.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
Her KD is awesome.
Yeah. She uses an aimbot. But they're wearing it on their face right now, exactly what they're for, like the whole time. And they're trying to destruct America. They've been doing it from the beginning. And even it goes back to, it started with him, Biden pardoning his son.
Yeah.
And granted, as a parent, I can't sit here and say I wouldn't do it for my own kid, but that would be basically showing my cards at that point, and it kind of, puts the nail in the coffin that everything that's been said has been true. Everything from the media that's been, that we said that trying to like gaslight us and think we're crazy.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true.
It's weird how even like MSNBC, CNN, all those types of media, they're coming out. I mean, they're acting like, what's going on? Like, he said he wasn't going to do that. Now he did. Like, that's been happening for forever. But at least now they're finally like mentioning the fact that it's happening,
right?
Instead of just turning their head to it and just going on and trying to find something else to.
Media's changed, man. It's super changed. And like, I will hear it from an interview. Like seriously, if you just go listen, it'll take you a while. The Joe Rogan interview with JD Vance and the Joe Rogan interview with Trump, you get it from the horse's mouth. Exactly everything they're saying. There's no out of context thing saying whatever, any media push that's making it seem like he's saying something different. No, it's like basically not edited except for the commercials that happen. And I'm like, yeah, I'm more confident in that. And when Kamala decided to not go on Joe Rogan and go on that, what's it called? Call Her Daddy or podcast. I'm like, that's when she realized that's she doesn't want to be questioned, which means you don't want, or if you want to be questioned, you want to know the questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
That way you have an answer. That's why sometimes, I mean, honestly, that's sometimes why when like we did it today, I didn't know what you're going to bring up on the show. We're getting like what you and I are talking about right now is literally like a conversation that we would have like on a phone, without any like, preconceived notions and any sort of like, heads up. I mean, maybe that's, we're not journalists, but maybe that's like bad talking points of, they don't know what they're talking about because they didn't do the research. But I'm like, well, off of, right when it's the conversation happens, this is my response,
Yeah.
and then when things come out, we usually correct them. We're like, oh yeah, I was wrong about that. Or we're right about that. And we'll, in the next episode or so, we're going to go over a document.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling we're going to have more, things that have, been proven on that document than disproven. And I'm going to kind of have like a compendium, like because we already talked about on a previous episode, but we're going to go in, I'm going to try to go back and listen to that and try to figure out what was during this document, what was proven at that time and wasn't. And since then, what has also been, actual, has happened since then, which would coincide with this current administration. So I think by the time the next episode comes out, Trump will already be in office, which I'm afraid of the inauguration, dude. I don't even know if they're going to have him walk. Just all the stuff that's been happening. It's crazy. And even his CIA or Secret Service, I don't know if I trust those guys either. After what happened in Pennsylvania.
Hopefully he'll get the A team on the Secret Service instead of like the D team,
G-Force, the little guinea pigs. That's what he's been getting. He needs Mr. T out there.
If anybody wants to look that up before we talk about it, it was actually hard for me it was way easier to find when we first talked about it.
Okay. I was going to tell you that.
Now
why is that?
It took me a while. I had to figure out like where it was at. And I think last time I did it, I could find it basically anywhere. Like Google Docs, I think, had it. I don't think it's there anymore, but it's called Current Communist Goals, and it's a paper that was brought up. This appeared in the Congressional Record on January 10th, 1963. It's an excerpt taken from The Naked Communist by W. Cleon Skousen, who did a study of communism during his 16-year term of service with the FBI. So this is what he thinks back then in 1963 were the communist goals at the time. And
63, that would be JFK, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, full circle. I think the only reason why I know that is because there was a TV show, I think, called 11/22/63 with James Franco. Really good. You should go watch it.
Yeah, he was 61 to 63, November 63.
See, 11/22/63. I was right. Gosh, I got a good memory.
This was January of 63. So yeah, he was in office at that time.
I have a memory of a lima bean. So let's talk about something fun. Okay. Actually, not fun, but something that really upsets me. And I don't know if you've noticed this.
The Ducks losing, that upset me.
Oh, yeah, well, it happens. Hey, you went further than the Mountaineers, so don't complain.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is in Tennessee. I know how it is in West Virginia, but I don't remember it being this bad in California. But what the heck is up with car headlights right now?
What do you mean?
Dude, they are bright.
Oh, yeah. It's the LEDs coming out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So was it like that? Was it like that in California before you left?
No. Well, yeah. But it's getting worse because more cars are coming out with the LEDs as like basic standard headlights.
I mean, I get it. They work great. But dude, like it is bad. Like when it's coming on when it's coming at you, or you'll get the dingus behind you who's compensating, and he's in a raised truck, and then he'll offset a little bit and get you in the headlight or the side mirror.
Another thing is new cars coming out now have automatic high beams as well. So if you're on the other side of like California, it's not as much because the highways are tight, but like out here, you have like two lanes on this side and then like a what could be like a 6-lane road in between, which is the median,
Yeah.
and then the other 2 lanes coming. So if you're on the other side and a car's coming from the other way and they have their automatic high beams on, that car's not going to sense you.
Yeah.
So it'll keep the high beams on.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, and this is, if there was a, we don't have a weighing of a day it means what a nice guy, but there's like I don't know, a dick of a day, let's just say.
Dang.
I went there because I'm mad, brother. I went to see these Christmas lights down in Lewisburg, and the signs like every 20 feet, turn off headlights, turn off headlights, turn off headlights. This guy behind me had them on the whole time. So here I am hearing dashing through the snow. I'm sitting there rolling my window down. Turn off your lights. I'm like yelling at him. And, my wife texts me, honey, just stop. You're scaring the children. And I'm like, oh, this guy. And so I'm being very like passive, like with it. I'm like, not passive is the word. Over aggressive, holding my hand out, like covering my mirror, sticking my head out the window, looking backwards at him. I wish that I had like those KC lights on the top of my car where I could just turn them backwards and blast him.
Yeah.
But dude, like, oh man, like it frustrated me. These are the things I worry about, man. This is what goes through my head. But they need to do some of those headlights. I think they work great when you're like on the car by yourself. They need to do something better. My car does the automatic high beams. I turn that sensor off. Because I know when to control my high beams because I'm not an idiot. No offense to you, Wilson, if you do your auto high beams.
I don't. Actually, ours don't work on our Jeep. They've never worked.
It's because you bought a Jeep.
Yeah. It was a recall and they took it in and said, yeah, it's fixed. No, it was never fixed.
Yeah.
They lied.
But it's just, they're ridiculous. It hurts my eyes. I have to wear blue light glasses in the morning sometimes, but I'll leave a Marco Polo for you. And I don't ever look down at my phone, but I'm pretty sure there's times where I'm just sitting there talking to you, all of a sudden my face just lights up with high beam. I'm probably going to get cancer because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of like, being burned by light and stuff, it is official. I did lose the fantasy football this year.
So you got to get the spray tan.
So I get the spray tan. So here in the next couple of weeks, maybe a month, Shaboy is going to look a little more Trump-esque.
You should just go to a tanning booth.
No, see, I had that at my gym and I don't feel like getting cancer. And plus this is a one-time thing. I'm not going to
spraying a chemical on you won't give you cancer.
It's like ink, brother. It's fine. I've done it before, a long time ago. We're fine. And so now I'm trying to figure out, do I do it with all the fantasy football guys? Do they go there with me and wait out in the lobby? Because all I could picture is like,
do it.
Go ahead.
And you shave your beard.
Nope.
And you get a white wig and you dress up as Donald Trump.
No, I'm not shaving this beard.
Yes.
Dude, I'm growing this thing out like a bad boy right now, dude. And I look like I'm like I'm going full on Viking. But no, so I'm picturing all the fantasy football guys there in the lobby, and then it's like, okay, Tommy, like it's like a waiting room. I look back at the guys. I'll be back, guys. I'll be back later. And then all of a sudden they hear the door shut. And then during that time, at some point, I'm disrobing, and all of a sudden all they hear is a like all the spraying happened, and these guys are just giggling, and I just walk out full on glory like a bronze god. And
you should see if they could get it like darker at your abs so it looks like you have like a 6-pack.
Oh, wait, I don't. I have the keg right now.
Yeah.
We were talking, yes, at church, everybody, about putting like stickers or something on me, like on my nipples, like stars. So that's still white. And I was thinking about
your lower back,
my lower back. Yeah. I was thinking about actually spelling, putting the letters C and D on there for my buddy Cody and his last name. And then people be like, what's that mean? Like, Christ died. But it's also his wife pointed out, well, that's my initials too. And well, no one will ever know what it means then, won't they? Or I could like, just put someone's random name on there. But I was thinking if someone has to, because apparently there's like this gel or something you put on your hands so your hands don't get tan or whatever. And I was like, maybe I could like have someone like write on me with that. Like write someone's like something.
Or a hand print.
That'd be cool. It's right on my cheeks.
Yeah.
and well, maybe the second place loser has to do that.
Yeah.
Like autograph your name into my back, Chris. Do it. I'll do it calligraphy.
You have to shave it first.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's do it in wingdings or Times New Roman.
Yes.
But yeah, so there will be photos of that being posted on the Facebook group. By the way, we still have an email, therealwtho@gmail.com. Phone number, whatever.
I don't think we do.
No, we don't. I called it and it went, we're sorry. This number cannot be connected.
Oh, so we can get it back.
We didn't pay our bill.
Oh.
But yeah, and you can listen to us wherever,
Oh, speaking of Facebook groups, I joined one, let's see, it's been a while, but I think I told you about this. Every Thursday, these people meet.
Oh, yeah.
And they do, so those of you that don't know, I do slot cars. And I haven't been able to run mine. Actually, I did just get a track, but I haven't been able to do slot cars in probably, I don't know, 6 years at least. But
you got some cool ones now, though.
Yeah, this group meets every Thursday, so I got to go there and hang out with them. Dude, it was a lot of fun. I have never done like an organized race type thing before, where I've always just like hung out with Mickey and we've raced at our own tracks at home and stuff like that. But this was a lot of fun. Like there was a lot of like just throwing cars on the track and running them around. But then we got down to the race, and the race was a lot of fun because we used the Carrera NASCARs. So we did an all NASCAR race.
So I'd love to do that. Be fun. I just don't have space for it.
Yeah.
But you got some pretty cool stuff. I do. But it's not set up for anything. It's still the slant on my hill. It's not flat.
Oh.
But that's one, when I come visit, that's one thing I want to check out. Hopefully your house will be done by then. That'd be cool to check out.
Yeah, well, we just signed all the paperwork Friday. So
they going to work on it during the winter?
Now. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I like it.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 more things, actually 3 more things. We'll see where we go. So this is going to kind of go into your area of expertise, Wilson, with conspiracies and stuff. But right now we have some astronauts in space. I'm sure you heard about this.
You're talking about the wires?
The wires. I don't know about that, but the fact that they're stranded up there.
Okay.
And they were supposed to be back, I don't know, a year ago. Not even a year ago. It was like, I don't know. It was a while ago, but I know a year ago. But like they just took pictures with them up there, and they're like wearing like Christmas hats.
Okay.
So it's like, why are there Christmas hats up there if they weren't supposed to be up there during Christmas?
Yeah, that's weird. And a lot of videos have been coming out showing like you could see like wires coming off of people.
Oh, so you are talking about the same thing.
Supposedly, yeah. When they're supposedly in 0G floating around in space, but you could see, and somebody like leans forward to grab something that was below them and like falls forward, not like a 0G. They like had to catch themselves. I don't know if they're like photoshopped videos or what, but
what would the reasoning behind that be?
Because we're not really going to space.
What would be the reasoning for not really going to space and faking that?
It costs a lot of money
to not go to space.
To go to space costs a lot of money. So if they're not,
so you're saying
setting up a scene.
So you're saying they're basically getting money to go to space, but not actually going.
Yes.
Okay.
They're probably taking that money and spending it elsewhere. Okay. That's what I think.
Yeah. And I don't know a whole lot about the astronauts that are supposedly up there. If they're part of NASA, if they're part of SpaceX, I don't know any of that. I think they're part of NASA because apparently are they at the space station?
They're supposed to be, yeah.
So I don't know.
That could be anybody. That could be us. That could be
Mother Russia.
Yeah, which is weird. Did you ever watch For All Mankind on Apple TV?
No, I've been meaning to.
Dude.
Oh, this brings up another thing. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet we just got Apple TV back because a show Steph wanted me to watch is on there.
Godzilla?
No, I've already seen it.
Oh, you should watch that.
I've already seen it.
Oh.
So this brings up a question for you, and I don't know if you've seen the show, okay, but I'm not gonna say anything. Say you have a horrible job, like just a job that you hate going to, and you enjoy your job, and I'm super proud of you and a little bit jealous, and don't talk about it anymore. But for me, I'm miserable at mine. What if you could do an implant in your brain where you go to work, and the second, let's just say you cross a threshold into work, you're being yourself, you forget about your outside life and you only know about work. But when you're out of work, like how you and I are right now, you can't think about work because you don't know what you actually do. Seems like it'd be like, for me, less stressful because I won't be thinking about work like I am right now. But there's like downsides to it because you don't know anything about your outside life. Would you take that implant?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I would either, even though
I don't think I could because I'd be thinking about what else can this implant do besides just this.
so there's a show I want you to watch on Apple TV called Severance.
Okay.
That's essentially what it's about. I didn't know anything about this show, and like I'm sitting there watching it, and that's the premise of the show. They don't know about their other lives. And so when they're at work, they're finding all these things that are weird, but they can't do anything about it because they're at work. But they want to kind of expose the company, but they can't expose the company because the second they go up in an elevator, like they cross this threshold where this little implant triggers them back to their other self, and their other self doesn't know anything that happened downstairs in the place. It's a trip, dude. Season 1's already on there. Season 2 starts in a few weeks, but it is a trip. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I totally get why you could do something. Oh, and you don't recognize anybody. So like, say you and I are coworkers down there, but we run into each other like out in the open, like in the real world.
You don't know.
We don't know who we wouldn't know each other.
That's weird.
It is very weird. There's times where it's really strange, but it's supposed to be that way. It's a good show. It is very slow, but I think it's supposed to make you feel miserable like them. I highly recommend it. It is a trip. It's won awards and everything. But I that wasn't even on my notes, folks. That's just something.
Have you watched the latest episode of Landman?
Yes.
Like this last Friday's episode?
For me, it's on Sundays because I watch it through whatever.
Oh, okay.
I forget what happened in the episode. I think what did
Do you think he died?
Who again? Remind me. I've watched so many shows.
I forget his name. Morty? What's his name? The owner.
Oh, no, I thought you did. You talking about you're talking about John Hamm's character.
Yes.
I thought he just had a heart attack and he was talking to him in the hospital room.
You didn't watch the very end?
I did. He was there.
Huh?
He looked at his.
You need to watch that again.
He looked at his watch. He's like, oh, I had another heart attack.
Huh?
Yes.
No, because his wife calls Billy Bob Thornton.
She was at the hospital and she goes, Tommy, come out with me for a second. And she goes,
What?
Okay. I think you're watching the wrong show, dude.
You're watching the wrong show. You need to rewatch that.
Maybe I fell asleep. Who
Because
knows?
that's where it ended. Was after she called him.
They wouldn't kill off John Hamm, I don't think.
I don't know. We're one episode away from the end of the season.
I mean, they did kill off, what's his name? Michael Pena in the first episode. Spoiler
I know.
alert.
I was kind of disappointed about that.
I mean, get a big actor in
and
there.
they killed off a bunch of cartel. What's
Yeah, I mean,
that?
those are upstanding fellas.
Yeah.
Last thing I got, we're talking about just kind of how, I don't know, thin-skinned America is now. And my wife sees this differently than me. I can admit that. But I found out through one of my favorite Christmas movies is It's a Wonderful Life. And there's a very important part in that movie where
A bell rings.
yeah, that's the end, dude. Spoiler
Okay.
alert. Where he basically everything is kind of like going wrong and he's contemplating suicide. And he wants to jump off a bridge. And at that moment, his guardian angel is like in the water. And so he jumps in to save him, but like it's almost as if like he wishes he was never born. And so he gets a taste to see what life would have been like if he was never born and never around. So how much different things would be. Well, Amazon, they had a version called the abridged version. For me, an abridged version is just a not so long version of like a book. It's like they take out some parts
It's like that website you used to go to when you were a kid to write essays.
Oh, schoolsucks.com. Yes.
Yeah. And it gave you all the answers to whatever book report you had
absolutely.
to do, and you could just.
That's what that's where I learned all my good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's like it doesn't take away the premise of the movie or book. It just takes out some of the stuff that's not really necessary. Right. So the abridged version of this movie literally goes from him contemplating the suicide, wanting to jump off the bridge, just looking at the water, to him all of a sudden discovering that he's happy. And like, I'm glad I'm here. Totally like the main premise of the movie. Because it's sad. And they don't want to
like ran it through Disney.
Or something
with it.
Well, if it was Disney, they'd have like, he'd be gay.
Yeah.
Everyone would be different nationalities all over the place. Everyone would be anorexic, like they're from
dwarfs.
Like they're from Wicked. What, 6 foot tall dwarfs? So you said,
yeah.
LeBron will be in there somewhere, but it's taking away the complete premise of the movie. And I'm like, why? This movie's been around since, gosh, forever, way before I was born, and people are so afraid of like this. It's going to bring up just bad memories for me. Well, you guys that were in the military that don't like war, that get triggered by that, they just don't watch that movie. They don't demand, hey, Saving Private Ryan, do you mind if you take out every scene where they're wearing like camo? It's just triggering.
Can you take out all the shooting?
You just all of it.
All of it.
I'm like,
it'd go from like a 3.5 hour movie to a like 2-minute movie.
Like, have you ever seen like any movies that were like Die Hard, for instance, and
another Christmas movie. Yeah.
Fantastic movie. And it's all of a sudden on TV, regular TV, and like how much they've edited it.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. Like, really? There is no Mr. Falcon.
Like, that's why I like watching Paramount and channels like that.
Like
edit them.
I finally, since me and my wife were on the Landman kick with Billy Bob, we watched Bad Santa for the first time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The last time you watched that, it was on TV, huh? You didn't remember all those parts.
Well, okay, Terminator, the first Terminator. I'm trying to go through like all these movies, like, like I just started Predator. I want to go through all the Predators like in order and then tie it in with Alien, and I'm like, oh, Terminator, I have it on Blu-ray. I'm going to watch it. Realized I've only seen TV versions the entire time. I've never seen on that. I'm like, ooh, there is a sex scene. Do not remember that. I'm like, was not aware of that. And I was like, that came out of nowhere. But I was like,
is that a pun? Might have to edit.
Great.
In there.
Oh boy.
And a mark there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We're good.
I'm gonna have to find that.
No, I marked it on here for you.
Yeah. Hopefully I could find it. Or I don't know.
It's weird. It's just going to go from nothing to us laughing and talking about this, and people are going to wonder.
Yeah, people will. Oh, they will know.
They probably will.
Yeah, we're also we're trying a bunch of different things with different platforms to recording to make it better for you guys. This one that we went to had awesome video, and we're trying to do all sorts of things here.
You know what? People would watch the video more when I put it out. I'll keep it in and you remove it.
Huh?
What?
You remove what? I remove it?
You remove it. I'll keep it in the video though.
Okay,
So
that's
people
fine.
have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
watch the
yeah. There you
video.
go. If
Yeah.
you really want to know what was said, watch the video.
Yep.
The Real WTH Show on YouTube. But yeah, I wish they would just stop messing with movies. And in my mind, that's not how the artist intended the movie to be made. Like, what bugs me is when I and I always get confused by this. I'll pop a movie in the DVD player, or CD, Blu-ray player, whatever, and I'll say, "Do you want to watch the theatrical version or the original version?" I'm like, "Well, which one like was meant to be made?" Like, I don't mind seeing deleted scenes, but like, which one did the director, the creator intend for me to see? That's what I want to watch. So, you know,
I think that's why I like that. That was it. Marvel, the Marvel movie. What's his name? Jack Snyder. Is that his name?
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
That was a DC.
DC.
comic.
Yeah, I like that movie because that was his vision. That was how he wanted everything to be done.
And
it was different, but I like. It's not something I'd like pick up to watch, but I enjoyed it.
And I understand there's apps out there, or I don't know if it's an app or not, but like VidAngel, where it takes out all the cuss words and all this content and stuff. If that's how you want to watch it, that's fine. But the thing is like when you use the word abridged, I'm just thinking you're taking out non-essential parts of the movie that you could get around to make it a shorter movie, so we could watch it. Not take out the entire premise of the movie. It's like the Titanic. And all of a sudden at the very end, everything's all happy. In the very end, the granny just throws off the little diamond. The boat never sank. We don't know anything about the boat sinking because that's just traumatizing for people who are on sinking boats. Like, it takes away the whole point of the movie. I don't know. I didn't like that. And I'm like thinking, if they're going to do it with this, what are they going to do with other movies? You know? So, yeah. Getting a text from Wilson here. He has this cool thing. I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
That's the timer up there. I was just sending you the timer.
Oh, I have a timer here too.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Why don't I get one?
Because you're not cool.
That's garbage.
Because I am the...
Oh, I do have one. It's up in the top corner, but it's like...
Oh, on your like third screen that you have?
No, this is still the first one.
You miss working in the jail. That's why you have so many screens, like you're working in control.
Yeah.
I know. But that's all I have today, dude.
That's it.
I have other things, but you know what? I'm done.
We'll save them for the commie episode.
Well, maybe it'll be my Wang that week. It was a good story. But yeah, like we said, you can still email us at therealwthshow@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yep.
We're on YouTube.
Definitely on YouTube.
Put out a video.
Check those videos out. Eventually we're going to have some cool stuff, where
we're going to have some live
stuff. It's going to be it's going to be, trust me, doing that. It'd be a lot easier to do that if we were in the same room.
Yeah.
But being, a couple states away, which sounds cool to say now, by the way, we got to deal with, buffering and streaming and all this stuff. And everything worked fantastic except my audio.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like this. I mean, we have audio issues. That's what happens.
And we don't have cheap equipment.
No, I do not.
Yeah. I mean, I think I have the cheapest equipment out of everyone, but I have a Behringer mixer and an Audio-Technica microphone. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's things we're trying to figure out and work it. So just be patient with us. It'll be worth it in the end. So
one day we'll get a live episode.
Yeah, it'll be kind of cool. And you could talk to us and text, and then be cool if if we could patch someone in on their little webcam. But I'm afraid, dude. I'm afraid it's me on one of my friends out here, and they're just gonna just start yelling obscenities or something.
They're gonna be like, "I got a Wang."
Boy, do you? I'm all. You're not allowed to say that, sir. You don't know what it means. But that's all I got, dude.
That's it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I'll talk to you then, or I'll talk to you another time. Hey, I remembered it.
Jobin.
There it is.